Hi, I'm Jake. I make RPG supplements and videos about Pathfinder 2, or PF2. I love PF2. There have been so many fun things that came out that Paizo did. I'm amazed that a company can make so much cool crap. Not counting Starfinder 2 yet. Jury's still out on that one. We're thinking about it. But Tian Xia is a really cool book. So we're going to do Tanuki today because I just listened to several videos on their lore and now I find them cute. So I have to do the Tanuki video. Those of you who don't want to listen to lore, I don't relate, but you can skip to this time to hear the heritages and the feats of the Tanuki. Thank you for being here. Tanuki. Tian Xia is replete with magically gifted ancestries such as Tengu, Kitsune, Yakshas, and Yaoguai, whose powers bring them high regard and who in turn use their gifts for responsible ends. Tanuki aren't one of those ancestries. Instead, the shape-shifting raccoon dog-like humanoids use their powers of illusion and transformation in ways more people should. For fun. Tanuki delight in pranks and practical jokes, especially those that allow them to take the high and mighty down a notch and show them what life is like for everyone else. Where other peoples take pride in their storied histories, noble traditions, or intricate ceremonies, Tanuki take pride in their simplicity and disregard for the world's many rules. I like them already. Though some might claim this outlook reduces Tanuki to uncouth rubes, Tanuki feel it makes them more cultured. After all, one must know a rule to bend it, and one must understand a norm to break it. That doesn't make you more cultured, that just makes you more knowledgeable about culture. That's not whatever. That being said, their laid-back natures can cause Tanuki and others no end of trouble. Their focus on living in the moment can often mean they're brought low by a problem they could have solved earlier with little effort. At the end of the day, Tanuki rarely come out on top, and even their victories tend to be mixed with small defeats or embarrassment. They're just goofy, lovable roly-polies. A Tanuki bard might save the day with the power of his music, but only because he played so off-key that bandits mistook him for a fearsome ghost. Tanuki are usually just fine with such an outcome, though. There's a truth to the world that Tanuki know in their bellies. That the ups and downs of life are all just a big joke. And if everyone's going to be made a fool in the end, you might as well be the fool who gets to dance and have fun along the way. Life's a party, and Tanuki intend to enjoy it as much as they can before their luck inevitably runs out. I like these guys. If you want to play a character who loves to have fun, occasionally at another's or your own expense, who's always up for a party and perhaps a bit too clever for their own good, you should play a Tanuki. This is great! They're cute! So, these are actual real animals in our world. They are related most closely to foxes, but they're in the canine family. They're not raccoons, but they do have markings that a raccoon would. It's just about their behavioral patterns, how they hunt, and their ability or inability to see in certain conditions. But the actual animal has had a lot of myth piled on top of them over the years, including having wildly magical scrotums. Not kidding. So, if you're a Tanuki, you might live life to the absolute fullest, getting into whatever trouble that approach might bring you. You might take pride in your duties and accomplishments, no matter how humble. You might be accustomed to the role of underdog and take it in stride, seeing failure as a wonderful punchline. I am glad they made these an ancestry instead of just a companion, because there's so much more you can do with it. You are a fey creature. Others probably find you the life of any party, probably know you'll always have their back, and they hope you aren't about to play joke on them. Makes sense. Physical description. Tanuki are short humanoids who resemble bipedal raccoon dogs, usually growing between 3 and 4 feet tall. They tend to have rotund bodies with large bellies that appear even wider due to their thick fur. A Tanuki's face is likewise round, with wide-set, alert eyes outlined with a dark mask of fur. Tanuki have a single bushy tail that they take great pride in and to which they ascribe their powers. These qualities together give Tanuki a strong cultural appreciation for rounded shapes over sharp angles, such as Daruma dolls, circular doors, and the moon. Tanuki often wear simple rustic clothing, opting for plain garb over elegant frills or shining jewels. However, Tanuki are known to go all out for festivals and similar celebrations, which they see as the perfect opportunity to enjoy life to the fullest. Many Tanuki make it a point to always carry a red vest and dancing towel in case an impromptu party breaks out. Dancing towel? What's a dancing towel? Is this a thing? Oh, before I go farther, I have an announcement to make that everybody who watches anything on YouTube will probably care about. So, Apple has made an issue for Patreon patrons. Apple's app for Patreon from November 1st on is going to start charging people more than they're intending on donating to the creator, and Apple keeps the money. The difference is like 30% extra. If you want to avoid that, just go directly to Patreon. Just go to the website. Anybody who is currently a patron of any creator, nothing's going to change for you. It doesn't matter if you previously used Apple OS to set up Patreon. There's no additional or new charges. But anybody who is going to try to donate money to help out a creator on Patreon from November 1st on and has an iPhone, you're going to get charged more. So, like, the creator has the option of absorbing the cost, and so you just contribute less money to the creator, or of you absorbing the cost, which means you just pay more than you meant to pay for the creator just to pay Apple money. So, screw Apple, I guess. You know, just go to the website. That's all. Just thought you should know. Society. Tanuki know that, among the many people of Galarian, they're underdogs, possessing neither the mastery of the heavens that Tengu command nor the divine favor that Kitsune enjoy. All things considered, Tanuki know they have to support each other, building tight communities where everyone knows each other's names. These communities tend to exist on the outskirts of villages, often in abandoned warehouses or farms, or else near temples and other public buildings. When Tanuki societies overlap with those of other peoples, they usually function unseen with their own codes of honor, rarely noticed by those in power. Tanuki love celebration and will hold any number of parties for even the smallest accomplishments. A project such as building a new bridge might have a kickoff ceremony, a toast where the plans are decided, a morale lunch when the workers have assembled, a banquet upon finishing the bridge, and a festival to dance over the bridge when it opens to the public. This proclivity is sometimes brought up as a reason for why Tanuki endeavors tend to take an interminably long time, with some failing spectacularly along the way. But Tanuki feel that it's important to celebrate what small victories they can. Besides, the community bonds forged among the participants are as much a part of the project as the actual building itself. I like that. That's a cool sentiment. I like these people. Tanuki tend toward unglamorous names with functional meanings, such as those that describe a Tanuki's birth order or the weather or season on the day they were born. Tanuki surnames tend to be similar, describing either their family's profession or location in a town. These conventions make Tanuki names feel relatively old-fashioned, though some avant-garde Tanuki give their children or themselves a grandiose name in defiance of their traditional station, because they always have to defy things. Sample name. Wow, really? That's okay. Sample names. Ame, Chiyo, Chosuke, Hinata, Mari, Nao, Seiya, Taro, Terao, Rei, Ichiro, Jiro, Saburo, Shiro, Satsuki, Mutsu, Nanami, Hazuki. Okay. Beliefs. Tanuki count no member of the Celestial Court among their own, a fact they see as further evidence that they have to stick up for each other since there's no Tanuki deity looking out for them, but they find themselves drawn toward gods such as Kofusachi, whose boisterous and compassionate approach to life they consider aspirational. That makes sense. Probably Caden Kylian, too. Though Tanuki hold deep reverence toward the moon, they tend not to worship Tsukiyo, knowing he finds loud worship agitating, and they take care to not invoke his name or imagery during Harvest Moon or Lunar New Year celebrations to ensure their cheers and belly drums don't draw his attention. God, I love these things. Tanuki with inner sea cultural traditions tend to revere Caden Kylian, seeing the blood of a Tanuki in his commoner status and drunken accomplishments, with some Tanuki statues even depicting Caden with a big belly and leaf atop his head to suggest that he was simply a Tanuki in human form, tricking the Avastani even to this day. The folklore goes that Tanuki can change into different shapes, but they have to put a leaf on their head to do it. Just so you know where that came from. Tanuki generally use their powers to humble the rich and snobby. At the very least, they create illusions with no more evil in their hearts than a simple joke or a free meal taken from one who can afford it, rather than acting out of malice. However, there are some Tanuki who do harbor resentment, which can take root and fester in their hearts. These Tanuki turn to cruel ends, known for all manner of nefarious deeds, chief among them cooking their enemies into soups or stews once they've finished tricking them. Hag vibes, anyone? Popular edicts. Choose excitement over stability. Let bygones be bygones. Make your community laugh. This is great. Popular anathema. Feel entitled to social status. Prank one of lower means than yourself. Wallow in your failures. Cool. Okay, so we're getting into Tanuki heritages now. So now we're going to cover all of the mechanical benefits of being a Tanuki. Rarity, uncommon. Tanuki are common in Minkai, the Forest of Spirits, and Goka. Hit points, 10. That makes sense because they're very rotund and very well fed. The Tanuki in real life just sort of live by their mouths. Like, they will eat anything. They eat tubers, they eat fish, they eat birds. In the winter, they even eat feces. They will eat whatever. They don't seem to give damn as long as they survive. And in the winter, they have gotten so fat from eating all year long that they're the size of a pug. These things are tiny. Little itty bitty things. Yeah. Size is small. They should be smaller than that. Speed, 25 feet. Attribute boosts Constitution, Charisma, and Free. Attribute flaw, Wisdom. Perfectly makes sense. Languages, Common, Tanuki. Additional language equal to your intelligence modifier. That's how it works. Traits, Humanoid, Tanuki. Change shape. One action, Concentrate, Polymorph, Primal, Tanuki. You can transform into a mundane raccoon dog using the statistics of pest form. Okay. This is a specific raccoon dog form that's the same age and body type as your true form and has roughly analogous physical traits such as hair color. Using change shape counts as creating a disguise for the impersonate use of deception. You lose any unarmed strikes you gain from a Tanuki heritage or ancestry feat in this form. You can remain in your raccoon dog form indefinitely, and you can shift back to your Tanuki form by using this action again. Cool. Great. Tanuki heritages. A Tanuki's heritage reflects a unique virtue that beats in the Tanuki's heart. Choose one of the following Tanuki heritages at first level. Ascetic Tanuki. Really? They're all based on, like, who they are inside? They're not just, oh, that's cool. It's not like physical traits or where they live. It's who they tend to be. I like that better. Ascetic Tanuki. It's said your round form is the result of calmness and restraint, not indulgence. Yeah, I'm not big-boned. I'm big-spirited. You gain scent as an imprecise sense with a range of 30 feet. The GM will usually double the range if you're downwind from something you're trying to smell, or halve the range if you're upwind. In addition, you gain a +2 circumstance bonus to perception checks whenever you're trying to locate food, drink, or a consumable item that's ingested, such as a potion or elixir, using your scent. That's cool. Even-tempered Tanuki. You're possessed of a serenity uncommon to other Tanuki, who always seem to be flying off the handle. You gain a +1 circumstance bonus to saving throws against emotion effects. If you roll a success at a saving throw against an emotion effect, you get a critical success instead. But when you roll a failure at a saving throw against an emotion effect, you get a critical failure instead. I guess because your true self shows through. You try to calm down and just can't, so you blow up or lose your shit in some way. Courageous Tanuki. Your heart beats with the courage of those who came before you, giving you the kind of bravery only a Tanuki can demonstrate. Whenever you gain the fleeing condition, you also gain a plus 10 foot circumstance bonus to your speeds that lasts as long as you're fleeing. When you have the fleeing condition, instead of having to spend all your actions trying to escape, you can act normally for one action but must still spend the remainder of your actions fleeing. You also gain the tactical retreat ability. It's a reaction. It has the emotion, fear, mental, and Tanuki traits. Trigger, you gain the frightened condition, frequency once per hour. Effect, realizing that discretion is the better part of valor, you opt to put some distance between you and a threat. You gain the fleeing condition until the beginning of your next turn, and you stride. What? Really? Okay. So you have to gain the frightened condition first, and then you choose to run fast. All right. Cool. That's courageous. I love that. Steadfast Tanuki. Your pride in your true Tanuki form knows no bounds. You gain your choice of everyday form or tea kettle form as a bonus ancestry feat. Okay, everyday form is you just look like a human. Virtuous Tanuki. Many Tanuki carry a gourd of alcohol to remind themselves to act with virtue, and by these standards you're quite virtuous indeed. You gain poison resistance equal to half your level, minimum 1. You can eat and drink things when you're sickened. You can't become incapacitated by conventional alcohol if you don't wish to be. That's awesome! Tanuki drinking contests are up and coming, I'm sure. Alright, Tanuki Ancestry Feats. First level. Everyday form, level 1 feat. There's nothing better than being a Tanuki, but sometimes you need a less conspicuous form when going into the big city or other crowded places. When you change shape, you can assume the form of a common small or medium humanoid ancestry prevalent where you grew up, typically human. This everyday form is a specific form with the same age and body type as your true Tanuki form and has roughly analogous physical traits such as hair color. Iron Belly, level 1 feat. A good laugh comes from the belly, and by laughing every day, yours has grown quite strong. You have a belly melee unarmed strike, which deals 1d6 damage in the brawling group and has the forceful trait. Special. It's never too late to learn to laugh. So you can select this feat at any level and retrain into and out of this feat. Oh my god, Iron Belly. Great. Next level 1 feat. If this isn't a grandiose name. Scorched on the Crackling Mountain. By ritualistically marking your fur with fire, like an infamous Tanuki of legend, you protect yourself against future flames. You gain a black stripe down your back that looks charred. Your flat check to remove persistent fire damage is DC 10 instead of DC 15, which can be reduced to DC 5 with appropriate assistance. The first time each day you would be reduced to 0 hit points by a fire effect, you avoid being knocked out and remain at 1 hit point, and your wounded condition increases by 1. 2 hairs plucked from your tail can be used as flint and steel to create a fire, emitting a strange crackling sound as they ignite. Could this be a cooler first level feat? This is awesome. I'm totally making Tanuki. I'm going to make a fucking family of Tanukis. A whole city of Tanukis. Alright, Tanuki lore, level 1 feat. Tanuki love to play 2 things, tricks and music. You become trained in deception and performance. If you would automatically become trained in one of those skills from your background or class, for example, you instead become trained in a skill of your choice. You also gain the additional lore general feat for Tanuki lore. It's a lore feat for ancestries. Tea kettle form, level 1 feat. Your shapeshifting is advanced enough to take the form of not just creatures, but objects as well. When you change shape, you can assume the form of a simple tool or object of 1 bulk or less, such as a tea kettle or umbrella. I'm glad it's not just a tea kettle, because the folktale has a Tanuki taking the form of a tea kettle, but he basically mentions that he could have taken the form of anything, and he wishes he hadn't taken the tea kettle form because fire is hot. When transformed into an object, you can function as that object for allies to use. For instance, turning into a crowbar so you can help an ally pry open a crate. You can speak well in object form, but you can't attack, cast spells, or move except to crawl, usually by hopping or flopping across the ground in an undignified manner. That's awesome. Hey Bill, is that crowbar getting away? No, it's one of those black snakes. Okay. 5th level feats. False priest form. Prerequisites, everyday form. Nobody respects Tanuki, but most everyone respects an esteemed priest. So what better form to take if you want to get by a little easier? When you change shape, you can assume the shape of a priest or other religious official from a religion of your choosing. While in your false priest form, you can attempt deception checks to recall knowledge about religion, and you can cast Divine Lance and Haunting Hymn as primal innate cantrips. What? If you critically fail at a deception check while in your false priest form, your transformation is broken, returning you to your Tanuki form, and you're so embarrassed that you can't resume your false priest form until your next daily preparations after you've taken a night to sleep on it. This is awesome! You become a priest! What the fuck? Oh, so good. I love these guys. They spend a lot of creativity on this. Jesus, this is cool. All right, next, level 5 feat. Hasty Celebration. Reaction has the emotion and visual traits, frequency once per hour. Trigger, you critically succeed at an attack roll against an enemy, or an enemy critically fails their saving throw against one of your effects. After even the briefest success, you get caught up in the moment and begin to party, cheering your allies on. You grant all allies within 60 feet a +2 circumstance bonus to attack rolls and damage until the end of your next turn. Unfortunately, while you sing and dance, you aren't keeping an eye on your surroundings like you should, making you off guard to all enemies until the end of your next turn as well. There's so much fucking flavor in this ancestry. Next feat. Level 5, Leaf Transformation. It has the illusion and uncommon traits. All this is uncommon. You know how to run an enterprise that others would never be able to get off the ground. Some say it's your savvy acumen or jovial manner, but you know it's because you can cut costs by transforming leaves into money. That's right. You can use deception to earn income, and you gain a +1 status bonus to your check if you do so. The illusion doesn't hold long, though. The GM rolls a secret d20. That many hours after concluding your check, the money transforms back, likely inviting consequences depending on how far the bills traveled from you and the time they were transformed. I haven't read many of the ancestries in this book, but this is the best one, I'm sure. Next level 5 feat. Ponpoko. No true Tanuki would ever be caught without a musical instrument to play under the full moon. You can attempt performance checks and cast spells by drumming on your belly. This requires that you have at least one hand free, and like playing an instrument, it grants the perform action the auditory and manipulate traits. When casting a spell, your gestures can include drumming your belly. If you do, any attempt to recognize a spell cast this way gains a -2 circumstance penalty. This doesn't really do a lot, functionally, but it's so cool. I think I would ask of a GM if I can just take this for free, or if we could use the Ancestry Paragon alternate rule just so I could take this. Yeah. Oh man. Next level 5 feat, statue form. Prerequisite, tea kettle form. An inconspicuous statue in front of a shop is the perfect form to wait for things to blow over. When you change shape, you can assume the form of a statue, shop sign, or other heavy object of up to large size. Large size, wow. Using statue form counts as setting up a disguise for the impersonate use of deception, except that you can impersonate an object instead of a creature. It gives you a +4 status bonus to deception checks to prevent others from seeing through your disguise, and you add your level even if you're untrained. Your weight increases to match the object you're impersonating while in statue form, allowing you to use your spell DC or your class DC instead of the relevant DC to resist forced movement, usually fortitude, if they're higher. You can speak while in statue form, but you can't attack, cast spells, or move. You can speak? This is amazing. Level 9 feats. Many faces. Frequency 3 times per day. Prerequisites, everyday form. Putting on a new face offers a great way to get a fresh perspective on life. When you change shape into your everyday form, you gain the effects of a third-rank illusory disguise for 1 hour or until you shift back, whichever comes first, except it's a polymorph effect rather than an illusion. However, your transformations can be broken with a good shock. If you gain the frightened or stunned condition while transformed, your transformation ends, returning you to your Tanuki form, and your confidence is so shaken you can't attempt to resume that specific disguise again until your next daily preparations. Paizo, thank you for this. Just thank you. Thank you for the Tanuki. These guys are fucking nuts. It's great. Next level 9 feet. Mud Boat's Passage. It has the primal trait. You instinctively create magical boats that keep your feet dry, mostly. You can walk on the surface of water and other non-damaging liquids, moving at half your normal speed, as a magical boat forms under your feet to carry you. Unfortunately, this magical boat is made out of mud, so you can't get very far. If you end your turn without reaching solid ground, the boat dissolves and you sink. Okay. Next level 9 feet, Phantom Orchestra. An easy way to trick others is to throw your voice into a nearby forest or thicket to make strange noises. You can cast second-rank ventriloquism as an innate primal spell once per day. You can also cast the Figment cantrip as a primal innate spell at will, heightened to a spell rank equal to half your level rounded up. These are the perfect tricksters. I like these guys. Next level 9 feet. Rolling White Bottle form. Okay. Prerequisite, tea kettle form. Reaction. Trigger, you drop prone or otherwise become prone. As you fall to the ground, you transform into a white bottle, gourd, or sake jar, then roll away before anyone can pick you up. You crawl up to 2 times, and your movement doesn't provoke reactions. You somehow always roll just out of reach. When you come to a stop, you return to your Tanuki form, face down on the ground. There's no reason for that. It's just funny. Oh. Yes, it has mechanical benefits, but, I mean, so what? It's amazingly funny. 13th level feats. We might be losing power.
I know, I saw it flicker.
13th level feats. Combined form. Reaction has the polymorph trait. Trigger, an ally within 30 feet uses a polymorph effect. Frequency, once per hour. Cooperation and coordination are the secrets to getting by in Tanuki society. When the triggering ally transforms, you stride to their square and join shape with them, melding into their transformation. While you're melded in this way, you grant them the effects of either a 2nd or 4th rank enlarge spell, as well as temporary hit points equal to your level. If their polymorph effect would normally grant them temporary hit points, you increase the amount by your level instead. While you're melded, you can't be separately targeted, and you can't act except to speak or to use change shape to exit the combined form, which ends the effects of enlarge on your ally and removes any remaining temporary hit points they received from this ability at the time. If the triggering ally becomes unconscious or the triggering polymorph effect ends, you automatically exit the combined form. This is awesome! You give up your actions to make them bigger, either more useful in combat that way, or more able to carry more people or more shit. Once per hour. So this is just like, you're always going to be able to do this. Man. Very interesting. Okay, next level 13 feet. Ponpoko Pon. I don't know what that means. 2 actions. Primal and sonic traits. Requirements Ponpoko. Whether it's because you play especially vigorously or are simply off-key, the music of your belly drum can physically wound your foes. Fear the belly. You deal 7d4 sonic damage to all creatures in a 30-foot cone with a basic fortitude save equal to your spell DC or class DC, whichever is higher. Such vigorous drumming does leave your belly a bit sore, though, preventing you from using this ability again for 1d4 rounds. It's a belly breath weapon. At 15th level and every 2 levels thereafter, the damage increases by 1d4. I am in love with this ancestry. I need to make a Tanuki witch. It's just what I have to do. There's no way around it. Next level 13 feet. Splendid Illusion. You cover your surroundings in outlandish fantasy. You can cast 6th rank illusory scene as a primal innate spell once per day. Perfectly fits folk tales as well. I like this thing. This really feels like a fey creature that has a fairy tale about it. Like, it has wide-ranged effects. 17th level feats. Landscape form. Frequency once per day. While walking down the road on a moonlit night, one might be puzzled to find a shop or hill that wasn't there before. In reality, this is a Tanuki at the height of their power. When you change shape, you can transform into a building or terrain feature up to 50 feet tall and up to 50 feet on a side. I said that. 50 feet. Mundane features of your landscape form function as normal. For instance, if you transform into a hot spring, the hot spring contains relaxing hot water. And if you transform into an inn, the inn contains bedrooms, beds, and delicious food. You could be an inn for your party. Though no aspect of your landscape form can be an active hazard that can cause damage or impose conditions, and any objects created within your landscape form turn into leaves if taken outside of it. You can speak while in landscape form, but you can't attack, cast spells, or move. You can remain in landscape form for up to 8 hours, and when you exit landscape form, it dissolves around anyone who was inside of it. You can't attack, cast spells, or move. It doesn't say you can't sleep. So you could turn into an inn and just fall asleep. Fuck, this is cool. I know it's level 17, I don't care. It's cool. Next level 17 feet. Start the festival. 3 actions. Frequency once per day. No distance can stop Tanuki from making their way to a good party. You whistle and point, and 808 Tanuki in their raccoon dog forms somehow appear from the surrounding terrain and fill a 30-foot burst within 120 feet. The Tanuki scurry over the ground, leap through the air, and leap up walls and surfaces, dealing 6d8 bludgeoning damage to all enemies in the area as they're trampled and danced upon. The Tanuki continue to party in the area for the next minute, dealing 3d8 bludgeoning damage to any enemy that ends its turn in the area, and transforming the area into difficult terrain. Though the Tanuki allow you and your allies to pass normally. Creatures in raccoon dog form can attempt to hide within the massive Tanuki. After 1 minute, the Tanuki clap 30 times and run off to the next party. You can dismiss the effect, though if you do, the Tanuki grumble as the party ends early. I know that the Soki have an ability that is functionally the same. It does damage, same area burst, same range, same duration. This is better. Just because it's a party. And 808 Tanuki appear. Who the fuck doesn't want to play this? Tell me if you don't want to play this. I want to know a good reason. These things are fucking nuts. Okay, that's all the feats and shit, but Jesus Christ, get this book. Alright, I'm going to read the Fox Raccoon Wars. Kitsune and Tanuki are infamous for feuding with one another when they meet, though these confrontations are almost never violent, and both ancestries would be revolted at the thought of their rivalries becoming so. Tanuki view Kitsune as supremely snobbish and as constantly putting on superior airs, while Kitsune see Tanuki as incarnations of crass behavior and overindulgence, but they are. Tanuki are quick to boast how they're better at shapeshifting than Kitsune, well, they are though. A jibe that brings a sneer to any self-respecting Kitsune's face, but one that Kitsune are hard-pressed to prove wrong, though they often point out their much wider range of magical powers, much to Tanuki's consternation. Oh yeah, well, I have tail fire. Oh! Oh! I have to go get drunk now. Best ancestry ever. Alright. Thank you for joining me. If you have anything to say about Tanuki, let me know in the comments or come to Discord and tell me to my face. Like, I'm nuts for liking them so much. These guys are great. If you're a patron, thank you for being here. I really appreciate your support. It actually helps, like, encourage me, too. It's not just financially assisting in keeping everything going, because you have to pay bills. But it's very encouraging. So thank you very much for taking part in that. If you're interested in if you're possibly interested in becoming a patron, there's a Patreon link in the description. If you donate $5 a month or more, you have a chance of winning the monthly giveaway. Loot draws the name, not from a hat, really, but he picks up a name and he chooses that one for the winner that month. It's Loot's choice. We see who he likes that month. And you get, like, free giant dice or set of dice or dice bag or dice tray or something dice. Because my girlfriend Storm makes all this stuff. This thing is so pretty. It's sparkly. Anyway, thank you. So if you want to see more Ancestry videos, I don't have an Ancestry playlist. Oh well, if you want to see more archetype videos, they're over here. And if you want to see more of the Tian Xia playlist is here, but the Tanuki is the best thing, so you may as well just stop playing. I mean, just play a Tanuki. You don't need to know anything else. Thanks. Bye. These guys are great. This is stupid. Okay, I'm done.
Clapping?
Mm-hmm.